We begin tonight tracking some intense monsoon storms across the valley.
All right, so let's take you around town. This is video from I-10 at 35th Avenue. You can see that massive flash across the top right corner of your screen. APS tells us electrical equipment was damaged in that area. And tonight we're seeing thousands of power outages. APS alone is reporting almost 10,000 outages across the West Valley. Meanwhile, SRP is reporting over 19,000 outages in an area just west of Phoenix. Meanwhile, this is a live look at 43rd Avenue and Van Buren, where Phoenix fire officials say a roof has partially collapsed at a commercial building and at least one person is missing inside. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly will join us for a live update on that situation in just a few minutes.
Meanwhile, take a look at this video from nearby. This is on 43rd Avenue. You can see lots of damage there in the area, trees down and cars having to navigate those messy roads. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Kariba Devine.
And I'm Mark Curtis. Let's get right to your latest forecast to see where this storm activity is at right now. Meteorologist Lindsay Riley is here with your weather impact forecast. What are you seeing on the radar?
It has been a very active night. Lots of trees down, damage, especially in the West Valley, where we have several ongoing severe thunderstorm warnings. A lot of damaging wind gusts reported within these storms, gusts in the 50 to 60 plus mile per hour range. Here's the latest with our Doppler radar. We have two severe thunderstorm warnings. The first one out in the West Valley. This storm is moving down toward the Estrellas, and the second severe thunderstorm warning is right over Gilbert right now, and that is crossing US 60, approaching the 202 in the West Valley, moving towards Santan Valley as well as Queen Creek. And both of those storms have the capability of producing some small hail, which we have gotten several reports of, in addition to 60 mile per hour gusts, and they're moving to the south at about 15 miles per hour. Elsewhere in the valley, the storms are falling below severe limits, just some light to moderate rain in downtown. We have a heavier burst of rain now approaching the I-10 in Avondale, also out toward the White Tank Mountains. We're seeing some strong cells, but here's that one severe thunderstorm warning. This goes until 10:30. Again, the storm's moving south at about 15, about to cross the Estrellas, seeing light rain out toward Ahwatukee right now, and then the second severe thunderstorm now out toward the East Valley over Gilbert, moving toward Queen Creek. So by about 10:30 or so, this storm will be over Queen Creek with gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour. Again, downtown Phoenix seeing some light rain, I-17 light to moderate rain. That's not severe. Only two severe storms are in the orange boxes that you saw. Further to the south, not nearly as active. In fact, what we're seeing in the valley right now is the most active weather across the entire state. We do fall below severe limits down across Pinal County and up further to the north, Prescott, just seeing some light showers at this point. We do have an ongoing blowing dust advisory for about one more hour for much of Pinal County. We did have a second dust storm warning during the 9 o'clock hour, mainly along I-8. So in terms of the hour by hour forecast, we can expect some showers and storms on radar till about 1 to 2 a.m. After 1 and 2 a.m., things are going to begin to dry out in the valley, and we will wake up to a dry start. But looking ahead to Thursday and Friday, we will have additional storm chances, and I'll have more on that coming up in my full forecast. Kariba.
All right, Lindsay, thanks for that. Right now, our crews in the field are tracking severe storm damage, especially in the West Valley. Take a look at this scene. This is near 43rd Avenue in Van Buren, where fire crews are on the scene of a partial roof collapse. Firefighters tell us that a building has been nearly torn apart by a storm there. Look at all of that. Let's get straight out to 12 News journalist Chase Golightly. And Chase, you have learned that one person is missing after all of this.
That's right. We were actually speaking with employees as they were being evacuated from the building. I did speak with one of them who said there's a missing co-worker that's still inside this building right behind me. As we zoom in, you can just see some firefighters standing by, excuse me. You can see all the debris on the ground here. But I want to point out the reason why we're so far away from the scene is fire officials told us the roof collapsed. The backside of the building also collapsed. And so we have to move through because it's possible that this entire building can go down. So, of course, we are evacuating the area. We're trying to be safe. But because of that possibility, firefighters aren't allowed to go in to the building right now because of the possibility of this entire building going down. But standing by with me right now is Captain Todd Keller with the Phoenix Fire Department to just give us some information. And Captain Keller, like we were saying, with this building possibly going down, what can firefighters do knowing that there's a possibility that someone's still inside?
Absolutely. That's our first concern. Our first concern is the safety of our firefighters. We do know that someone is inside, so we are going to take our time. Like you said you did see a dog go inside, so that's our urban search and rescue. That's Moxie. That dog will go inside and is trained to find people that are trapped. But right now, like you said, the possibility of the other three walls collapsing is our main concern.
And then also, I mean, it's not just this building here. I mean, we've been talking about for the last couple hours just how much damage is in the area, how busy are Phoenix firefighters right now. I mean, even getting here down 43rd Avenue, I lost count of how many trees I saw knocked down on the street blocking traffic. How busy are you guys right now?
We are really busy, especially in this, in the west side of, the valley. I can tell you we're going on a lot of fire alarms right now, a lot of down power lines. Obviously, this is our biggest call. We just had a house fire kick out right around about Dobbins and 19th Avenue. So our firefighters are extremely busy right now.
Definitely, and of course that work is going to continue, especially with this situation right here. And again, is it right now just kind of being on standby and seeing when this thing goes down?
Yeah, and hopefully it does, and hopefully we can get in there. And per employees, this is per employees, remember that they said that there is someone unaccounted. So we do have, like I said, our urban search and rescue team here. We're getting our drone up to get an aerial view, and we're going to do our best to get inside.
Captain Keller, thank you so much for your time here today during the situation. A very active scene here in the area. And again, what we were told is the roof collapsed, the backside of the building collapsed. So that means that everything is potentially going to collapse here. So firefighters are just being extremely careful. We are seeing some of them get a little bit close, but not too close because of that possibility. Of course, we'll stay out here and try to find out the latest on that one person, that one worker that is still unaccounted for. But right now, we'll go ahead and send it back to you guys in the studio as we continue to investigate this situation.
Yeah, Chase, obviously time of the essence right there in this very dangerous situation. Of course, meteorologist Lindsay Riley is keeping a close eye on the radar and all of the warnings associated with it for the valley. We'll have her coming up in just a few minutes. Well, it sounds almost unbelievable, stealing items that are already free to begin with. It's happening in one Gilbert neighborhood, and that is where we find 12 News journalist Sean Rice, who explains how a thief made off with some children's books.
You may have one in your neighborhood. Sharing libraries, just like this one here behind me, are a way for people to take a book, read it, and then return one of your own. But what is new is for all the books inside to become the target of a thief. And tonight, that's leaving this homeowner really scratching her head why items of little monetary value would all vanish overnight.
Sharing the love of reading, because, reading is kind of a lost art these days.
It's what prompted Renee Lamb to start a very own sharing library of her own, placing her children's old books inside for the entire community to enjoy.
I had about probably 20 to 30 books in there. It was filled from side to side.
The library was bursting with books. That was until Tuesday night when a white sedan seen here on Lamb's home security cameras pulls up. A male exits the car and begins inspecting the books, but he had no intentions of taking part in the community's sharing library.
Walked to his trunk, pops it open, starts just emptying everything out. He does a couple trips in there, and then he just takes off.
Makes you lose a little bit of hope in humanity a little bit.
It does,
Yeah.
But again, the outpouring from the community, I was so overwhelmed.
After Lamb put the video in a Gilbert community Facebook page, she had countless people offering to fill the shelves of the sharing library once again. While holding out hope, the thief may come to his senses about stealing items that were already free to begin with.
This isn't for, any type of thing other than just sharing the love of reading within your community. And it's sad that we can't have this in more neighborhoods because of acts like this.
And tonight, Lamb hopes the person responsible for taking all of these books does the right thing and returns them very soon so that the entire community can once again enjoy reading them. In Gilbert, Sean Rice, 12 News.
Tonight, a historic Oval Office address from President Biden, speaking to the nation for the first time about his decision to step aside and suspend his re-election campaign. Biden acknowledged that it was hard to step aside, even saying that he still felt he had earned a shot at a second term.
The president framed his decision to pass the torch to younger voices as a defense of democracy and argued that it was more important than any title. NBC's Alice Barr has the details from Washington.
My fellow Americans.
President Biden sitting in the Oval Office he sought to occupy for years, telling the nation why he's walking away.
So I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation. That's the best way to unite our nation.
The president acknowledging his personal struggle as pressure to drop out mounted from fellow Democrats, worried that questions over his age and mental sharpness meant he couldn't beat former President Trump.
I believe my record as president, my leadership in the world, my vision for America's future, all merited a second term. But nothing can come in the way of saving our democracy.
President Biden beginning to outline his legacy, promising to work hard through his final 6 months in office and praising his new choice for nominee, Vice President Kamala Harris.
She's experienced, she's tough, she's capable.
She has quickly consolidated support campaigning today in Indiana.
I am fighting for our nation's future.
As former President Trump shifts gears and sharpens his attacks against a new opponent.
Kamala, you're fired.
President Biden thanking voters for helping him rise from a kid with a stutter to the White House, while arguing the soul of the nation is still at stake.
The great thing about America is here, kings and dictators do not rule, the people do. History is in your hands. The power is in your hands.
Casting it as a choice to move forward or backward as he prepares to move aside.
Keep the faith and remember who we are.
In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And there's simply nothing.
Back here in Arizona, a man has been arrested after police say he started a devastating wildfire that destroyed nearly 24 homes on tribal land in eastern Arizona. The San Carlos Police Department arrested 22-year-old Canoe Dude after they say he started the watchfire. Police say he has a long criminal history of domestic violence and assault. The watchfire started on July 10th and quickly grew out of control, burning more than 2,100 acres and forced more than 400 people to evacuate.
Don't go anywhere. Still much more coverage on these intense monsoon storms ahead. 12 News at 10 is coming back.
Tuesday is primary day in Arizona.
It's important that we all go out and vote.
12 News is dedicated to bringing you results and reactions, going in-depth on the most contested races. Decision 2024 primary coverage with the first results at 8 on 12+.